Grief and loss. Hello, friend, wherever you may be in the world. Thanks for connecting with me today. So, today's topic is a little bit of a vulnerable one for me, and also something that is very close to my heart. So, first of all, I'm raising awareness for mental health, seeing as we had World Mental Health Day, and also invisible illnesses such as cardiomyopathy and fibromyalgia. Okay, so I've been afflicted by both directly and indirectly. But today I really wanted to talk foremost, and these topics interrelate, foremost about loss. Today I'm reflecting on a significant loss in my life of my sister, Chiko Matenda, who would have been 23 years old today. And before I go on, thanks for connecting with me. I value you wherever you may be in the world. And my name is Chiko Matenda, and I am mainly based in the UK and also tend to enjoy traveling. So I may be recording from anywhere in the world, just depending on where the current takes me. Do let me know where you're connecting from. I love connecting with people globally. That's part of my makeup. So, these topics may resonate with you. Do feel free to interact. As I was saying, it's a personal one, so it's not scripted. I never script aside from prompters. My youngest sister would have been 23 years old today, and it's been really tough. So anybody who would have gone through loss, you probably might experience what I usually experience, is that prior to the day, your body and mind goes through these motions where even if you might not immediately be aware or mindful of what's happening, it automatically happens. So for me, I feel like that's part of the spiritual connectivity of loss or gravity that pulls us to remember our loved ones. So for me, this week was significant because it's a week as well where my stepmother passed away, who was my younger sister's mother too. So my dad remarried, but that's not even the point. I think the point for me is it's given me loss, sudden loss, especially because I lost my sister to cardiomyopathy, has given me a huge perspective in life that there's certain huge impacts and sudden impacts that happen unexpectedly in our lives that enable us to question life more. So that's what happened for me. Prior to that, my dad had suddenly passed away from diabetes, which is another invisible illness as well. There's some conditions where some symptoms you may see externally, and cardiomyopathy and diabetes is one of them. Fibromyalgia most of the times is not, and that's what I suffer from or have been afflicted by. Sudden impacts, sudden losses, which caused me to awaken to the reality and value of life. Life in terms of its meaning and its purpose. So today I had to rethink my thought about, because there's certain things I used to wish and think about for my sister. I used to think, oh, she's died so young. She would have achieved so many things in life. It's not fair. She had so much to live for because she was quite young. She was 18. And I also remember standing near her bed, her hospital bed in an intensive care unit, thinking about like life was flashing ahead of me, what her wedding would have been like, what her relationships would have been like, university life would have been like, and wishing for her life to continue. But things happen. I came to peace with that. So this is not about or feel sorry for me, because I am at peace with a lot of things. I am at peace that it was her time to go. And I'm also at peace today, I think, finally, with the fact that she lived her life to the fullest up to the point of her passing, her death, even though there were things that I wished for her to continue. Okay, the reason I know this is that she contributed to greater causes in life. She was driven to giving purposefully, and her heart was filled with love, caring for others, and she gave to charitable causes. So that's what I've awoken to today, because I think there are times in life when we believe that we haven't given much, there's more to give, but sometimes we may not have that. We may not have the time. And it's also the reason I'm sharing this as well is that to motivate you, to encourage you, that if you're living life with hesitancy, fear, self-doubt, is to not wait until significant life impacts happen in your life, and then you start to reflect on the I wish, I hope, I hoped I could have done this. Okay, so in terms of my own experience, I felt like I had been cheated. I felt like things had been stolen from me as a result of being diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And then I awoke to the fact that I still had control of certain factors in my life. Although my life will never be the same, or could potentially never be the same, because I'm going through a healing process, there's still things that I've got to be grateful for. And I've awoken to that as part of my healing process. I am here talking to you, so I'm grateful for that. I can talk, I can speak, I can breathe, I can walk, even though it's not to the best of my abilities. My body is not the same, my mind is not the same, but there's still things that I can do within my given abilities. Okay, so I've had to reframe my mind and to not see it as a limitation. And so what motivated me to connect with you, I also mentioned mental health awareness, which was global. And I believe it's an everyday thing, because one of the things that held me back in life for so long was I kept silent and quiet about a lot of things, challenges that I experienced in my life, because I didn't want to impact others. I felt like I've got this, I've got control over everything. And also I kept quiet on my dreams, my life passions, my visions, and I hesitated. I held back because of fear and overwhelm of the potential for success that just overwhelmed me, surprisingly enough. So I'm here to actually connect with you and say that life can feel overwhelming, it can feel uncertain, it can feel unpredictable. So I'd highly encourage you, okay, to connect with your life purpose, or to continue connecting with it. What you visualize, don't take it for granted. It's there for a reason, for you to walk towards it. So often people feel challenged by feeling stuck. So I understand that and I appreciate that. As part of Mental Health Awareness Days, I've gone through bipolar, anxiety, panic disorder, all the labels that come that were given to me under mental health condition. Agoraphobia that limited me from living life truly. For 6 months I couldn't leave my home. Being in I had to go back into my mom's house. I'm kind of digressing a bit, but this interconnects. So those impacts I had, and I overcame them. And how I overcame them was as a result of having something within me, an intuition, before I remember like a psychiatrist I was seeing standing in front of me at a private hospital, which I chose because I was like, I need to do everything it takes to change my direction in life and to take control and understand what is happening in my life. But before I could do that, he challenged me to start taking conventional medications, which I unwillingly took. And the reason for that was that I couldn't control my emotions at that time. So I understood that I needed to go through this small journey where I needed to take conventional medication, and to, as in addition to that, to go through talking cures. So talking cures was okay. So when I was standing at that door, he was saying to me, we're now at this path where I feel that you need to come in as an inpatient. So it was like a light bulb moment for me, like an awakening, something spiritually, because my mom was also standing there. Imagine the psychiatrist standing there, my mom in front of me, and all I could see was her, even though he was talking to me. And something intuitively in me said, you have to come through, you have to come out and come through this and do whatever it takes to not walk through these doors. Although I would be going in there as an outpatient, but there was something that awoke me to, I need to take control of whatever is happening. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that there are moments in life, in your gut and intuition, that will drive you or awaken you to your life purpose, your will, your control, to turn things around, to flip it around, even if you feel like you've got no control. So I willed myself to start connecting with me more, to have a voice, to speak regardless of judgment, of self-doubt, of self-criticism, and anything else, because talking, I believe highly, is a cure to anything that is going on in our world. Even though we wish for like somebody to what can I say, like if somebody has wronged you, you may wish for them to say sorry. That may never happen, and that is okay. Okay, because the process is what is called hopono, which is about accepting and letting go and forgiving. Okay, forgiving not for the sake of others, but for the sake of you, so that you can continue to connect with your true life vision and your life purpose, and to live life fully every single day. Okay, so then I'll connect with where you may say, oh, it's easy for me to say. You may say it or you may not say it, but I know what goes on in the mind as well. It is not easy. And when I talk about fulfilling your purpose, I don't mean just giving up everything today and saying, oh, I'm going to go out there and just pursue my passions, my purpose. No, that's not what it's about. It's about being open to, being self-aware, learning to be honest with yourself, learning to minimize the excuses, the negativity, or the impacts of the external worlds. When people question you, then you say, oh, this is me, and you embrace all the negativity. To learn to accept, to self-love, that's what it is about, unconditionally, no matter what's going on externally, so that you have the will every single day to start taking the smallest steps that you can to start fully embracing life. Okay, so it doesn't mean you give up your job, because that probably might be unrealistic, although that's a choice that I made for myself, because my condition of living with a musculoskeletal widespread condition could not enable me, as much as I wanted to, live full-time in a full-time fast-paced environment. Okay, so for you, you may feel like you still need to hang on to that because it fulfills your livelihood and the things that you enjoy in your life. It's more about taking that small fraction of embracing the smallest things that you enjoy in life, so that even if you hate your job, even if you hate what you're pursuing, that you feel like you have to do as mundane tasks, at least there's a small window, a small percentage in your life that you're building up slowly to become bigger and bigger and bigger, until you feel you have sufficient will to leave or detach from the things that do not serve you well, deplete your energy, do not fulfill you, or you feel like you have to. Because I believe that realistically in life, we were not made to just to walk through life sleeping. And that's what death awakens me to. We were not made to just wake up and do mundane things that we were not truly connected to. Not to say a job is something that you're not passionate about, because I've chosen careers and paths in my life which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I purposefully not chose to work in financial sectors because I knew, even though I studied economics, finances, or whichever business, I can't even remember, I was more inclined to study psychotherapy, which I invested in because I knew that's where my passion lied, and that was to connect with people on a one-to-one or in a group environment, and to help them overcome certain limitations that I had been challenged by, such as mental health, grief, loss. So I volunteered in those areas. I also worked in those areas because that was my true life purpose. Even though in the beginning I didn't earn the income that I wanted, I still felt fulfilled. I went up to senior management leadership, and this is not to show off. And there were certain aspects as I progressed up the career ladder. I got good salary, but I felt like I was a great salary. I'll revert back to that. I felt like I was being pulled away from my life purpose and my vision, and I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt trapped, and I also went into my career, even though I'd chosen it, knowing that it wasn't meant for me to be in a 9 to 5. So if you know that innately, and you're waking up every day like I used to before, disliking it, hating it, then you have the opportunity now, not tomorrow, to start doing something about it, to start awakening to what calls you instinctively and purposefully. Okay, so this is the message that I wanted to share with you today, and I hope on some level you have resonated. And the reason that it has propelled me to do this is, although I felt like I needed to spend today quietly, I also felt partially I would be doing myself a disservice. I would be doing my sister a disservice, and I feel connected to that. So I'll go with that feeling if I didn't speak my truth, or if I didn't connect on some level to whoever needs to connect with this message today. Grief is the hardest thing anybody would ever have to go through in life, and I can attest to that. And this word kept coming to me, celebrate life, and I decided to pack it for a moment, because I feel like I've accepted some truths today, but I'm not ready yet to celebrate my sister's life at this moment. Not to say that I don't celebrate it in other moments, but it just doesn't feel authentic, if that makes sense. I value the life that she lived, but I feel cheated at the same time. So I still feel like I'm still in the early stages of grief, or the cycles we go through with bereavement. So there are moments when I feel like, yes, I'm ready to embrace life. But yesterday, I'll be honest with you, I felt like she was meant to be 23. So I cried. I've cried throughout, few moments today. And to me, that's been healing, that's been cathartic. And I believe maybe when I wake up tomorrow, I might say, I'm ready to celebrate her life. And it's okay to do that. Okay, it's not depriving anything because as I mentioned, she lived her life to the fullest, and she embraced it, and she was honest in her being and with herself. So she lived it to the fullest that she could, although things were taken away from her. Her illness was unexpected. Her death was sudden. So she didn't have the choice or the will. So that's why I am encouraging you to start embracing or learning how to connect with your life purpose, the things that you enjoy the most in your life, because I also feel like I lost something within myself, so you might be energetic and happy, but as a result of being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I lost a significant part of myself. My life was flipped upside down. I've had to reinvent what it means to live life with an illness, of living life every single day feeling physically ill, and then not having the will or control yet. I say yet because I'm a fighter, to control some of the things that go on cognitively, like brain fog. I don't have control over that. Or when I experience moments of memory losses, or when my body is stiff, weak, and all of the things that go on with fibromyalgia that I have no control with. I am in a better place where I have learned how to slow my life down, because I used to love the fast-paced life, which was unhealthy for my mental health well-being in terms of stress, anxiety. Not that I experienced anxiety, but it could have led to that because I had overcome it. But if I had let myself continue in that path, it would have come to that. So I learned to slow down, although I believed that slowing down was a loss. Now I look at it and I think, no, it actually is not a loss, because slowing down has given me a different perspective. It's enabled me to take control back of my well-being, so I'm not afflicted by severe chronic pain. Although I still experienced it, it's still manageable, so I can still manage my well-being, because severe chronic pain causes depression, it causes pain, so it feels like your life is being robbed. And I'll stop it there, just to give you that perspective, is that although I felt cheated, I've taken back the control, where I'm embracing my life fully now, because I know what it means to lose something. So to lose something in death of loved ones, and to lose something that's been me, young, lively, and with so much potential and abilities physically, and now I'm embracing it in a different way. So I guess ultimately what I'm saying is that if you are at the place where you're fully well physically, you have the greatest advantage to do all you can now, and not overly exert your body or your mind, but you have a higher advantage to take more of an opportunity to do something. This is not to say that some of us, or the millions of us who are living with invisible illnesses or disabilities, don't have a highest opportunity as well, but it's different. We just learn to live life another way, but it's still to the fullest of our abilities, if that makes sense. I'll leave it there for today. It's been longer than I've expected. I want to thank you for connecting and for watching, and I hope as a result of me connecting that there's some aspects of what I've shared that you resonate with, some aspects of what I've shared that you feel like will propel you to do something, even if it's a little bit of anything. And I look forward to connecting with you soon and on another session. bye for me for today. Until next time.